The village of Umudim was a place where silence was law and obedience was survival. Women did not speak unless spoken to. Girls were raised in the shadows of men, trained from birth to bow their heads, lower their gazes, and never question the traditions passed down from their ancestors. They existed to serve, to bear children, to cook, and to obey. In Umudim, the mere thought of a woman being equal to a man was considered a sin against the gods. The village had its own deity, Aja, a bloodthirsty god who demanded sacrifices to keep the land fertile. Every few years, a girl was chosen, a lamb for slaughter, given to the deity to maintain balance. No one questioned it. No one dared. Mary was the first girl in her village allowed to leave. It was not a decision made lightly. Her father, Okonkwo, the sole breadwinner, had 13 children and a wife who depended on him. The weight of responsibility pressed down on his shoulders like an iron yoke. With each passing year, feeding so many mouths became impossible. The village men gathered to discuss Mary's fate. She must not go, one of the elders, Chief Anine, barked, his old voice thick with resentment. City girls are mannerless. They will teach her to look a man in the eye, to challenge his authority. She will return tainted. But if she stays, she will starve, Okonkwo countered. His voice was tired, heavy. Let her go to the city. My sister will take her in. She will marry a city boy, Chief Ayib sneered. One who does not respect our ways. And when she returns, she will spread poison among our young girls. After weeks of debate, the decision was made: Mary would leave, but she would be given a strict warning. The night before she left, her mother, Neka, sat her down in their dimly lit hut. The flickering flames of the lantern cast long shadows on the mud walls. Do not let the city change you, her mother whispered, her voice lined with worry. A woman who forgets her place is a woman doomed to misery. Obey your aunt. Stay away from city men. And never, never speak against our ways. Mary nodded, but deep down, something inside her stirred, a silent rebellion she could not yet name. Lagos was unlike anything Mary had ever imagined. It was nothing like her village. The streets were crowded and loud, filled with people shouting, trading, and moving in every direction. The air smelled of fried food, exhaust fumes, and sweat, a mix that made Mary dizzy. Her aunt's house in Yaba was small and suffocating. The one-room apartment held her aunt, her 3 children, and her husband, who was not the wealthy banker he had claimed to be, but a bus conductor barely making ends meet. From the moment Mary arrived, she was treated as a servant, not a niece. Mary, her aunt, Auntie Felicia, called out one morning, slapping a wet rag on the floor. Wake up. You think this is the village where girls sleep like goats? Sweep the house, cook, and get my children ready for school. Before the sun rose, Mary was already scrubbing floors, washing clothes, and frying bean cakes for her aunt's small stall in the market. She went to school on an empty stomach most days, her hunger gnawing at her insides like a wild beast. Despite everything, she thrived in school. She was brilliant, quick-witted, and hardworking. Teachers praised her, students envied her. But the other students mocked her. Why are you the biggest in class? Did they keep you in the farm before sending you here? Bush girl, do you even know what a phone is? Mary ignored them. She had one goal: to get a scholarship to the biggest college in Lagos and return home as a teacher. After years of relentless studying, she was awarded a full scholarship to the University of Lagos. In church, Mary met Joshua. He was everything a girl could dream of: handsome, tall, intelligent, charming. The choir master, the golden boy of the campus. Every girl in church wanted him. But Joshua wanted Mary from the first day he met her. At first, she paid him no attention. She came for rehearsals and left immediately. She had no time for distractions. But Joshua was persistent. Mary, he greeted her one evening, walking beside her after rehearsal. Do you ever smile? She sighed. I do. When? He teased. Because I've never seen it. She rolled her eyes. I smile when I pass my exams. Joshua laughed. I hope you keep passing. Slowly, They started bonding and hanging out too often till Mary let her guard down. They became inseparable. He made her laugh, made her feel seen. No one had ever made her feel so special. Then, one evening, he asked her to move in with him. "I hate how your aunt treats you," he said, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Come live with me. I'll take care of you." Mary hesitated. "I can't. My aunt." "Forget her," he interrupted. "You deserve better." Against her better judgment, she agreed. And that was her greatest mistake. After some weeks together, Joshua changed. The man who once treated her like a queen became her nightmare. The first slap came over something small, a late meal. "I told you to cook before I got home," he snapped, his hand striking her cheek like lightning. Mary gasped, shocked, humiliated. "You hit me," he scoffed. "If you don't want to be hit, don't act like a fool." It did not stop. The beatings became routine. The insults, the starvation, the threats. "You are nothing without me, Mary. Who will you run to? You have no one." As her aunt had made it clear, she was no longer welcome. And one day, he did the worst, he threw her out. Alone, broken, and without a place to stay, Mary returned to Umudim. She started teaching the village children simple words and numbers. She told them stories about the city, about how men and women could be equals. But the elders were not pleased, and so they plotted against her. One night, Mary overheard Chief Anin and Chief Ayib whispering to a group of children. "If you do not say what we tell you, we will banish your families," Anin threatened. She didn't understand what the threats were about till the next day. Angry villagers dragged her to the king's palace. "She has poisoned our daughter's mind," Chief Ayib shouted. "She must be banished." The children Mary had seen a night ago came forward, lying to the village how Mary had been teaching them wrong culture from the big city. The villagers fumed with rage. "She must be banished. She has come back to corrupt our children. Stop her." The king listened. Then he passed judgment. "You have defied our gods. You are no longer one of us. Leave, and never return." Once again Mary lost everything, her family, her village, and so she left. She returned to Lagos, luckily found a job as a teacher. Her students loved her, her colleagues praised her dedication and love for education. After some months he fell very ill. The doctor has told her she had the killer disease HIV and AIDS. She traced the cause back to Joshua, who she found out had died months back from the sickness. Mary accepted her faith as she had little time to live. And on her deathbed, she sent her final gift to Umudim, her book, her life experience through the journey from her village till her dying moments. When the villagers read her words, the truth was revealed. The chiefs had framed her, the children had been threatened to lie. In anger, the villagers dragged the chiefs to the evil forest, leaving them to their fate. And in honor of Mary, the village built a school in her name, as those who supported her enlightenment had outgrown the ones who held on to their past culture. Slowly their culture changed. For the first time in Umudim, women and girl child could speak, learn, and live freely. Mary died, but her legacy lived on. The moral lesson of this story is education empowers change. Knowledge can break oppression and uplift society. Silence enables oppression. Speaking up against injustice leads to change. Tradition should not justify injustice. Culture should evolve for fairness and equality. I hope you learnt something from this story. Please do well to subscribe, comment and share for more amazing stories like this. Your support means a lot to us.